Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis. And up top today, we have Matthew. How are you today, Matthew?
I'm good. Just a little disappointed with some of the life being sucked out of this season, but we'll chat it out and be able to vent through it all.
Vent through it all. And Michelle here as well. How are you feeling overall about this episode?
I mean, I think everybody knows. Yeah, I'm unhappy with it. I mean, it was boring, and I thought there would be a chance with trivia, but obviously the way that the order panned out and just the stupidity of these people, I'm so annoyed because they were so close to winning, and it's just so disappointing. Yeah, I'm annoyed.
So disappointing. I agree. Jorge is also with us here. Says, hi guys, I got secondhand embarrassment from the answers they gave to the easiest questions I think we have ever had in trivia. Definitely the easiest questions. Yeah. Definitely the easiest questions. Obviously, the hardest ones, we're going to go through them all because there's not that much to talk about. But the hardest ones were like spelling some of these words. Like when you're spitting and you're kind of nauseous, you might not be able to think correctly spelling wise. Okay. But like some of these questions were so easy. Whack, whack, whack. So Michelle, you watched it on MTV.com basically. Was there any good music? Because we get only the kind of music. It's not real music. Did they play Ride With Me?
The only one that like stood out to me that I was really thinking about it was during the elimination. They were playing Paramore, Misery Business.
Don't know.
And it was like, it felt like an old episode. They would play a song like that, even though I know it's popular again now, but like, yeah, so it gave that kind of level of intensity. But I don't really remember the songs they were playing throughout specifically.
I was just curious because the episode title is Ride With Me, or Ride or Die With Me, or Nelly's. And so I was just wondering if it played at all in the US stream of it.
It might, honestly, it might have.
All good.
I don't remember. I don't remember. Good. Oh.
Just curious why it was called that. But I guess with how we see that this episode turned out, we understand why it was called that anyways. Mm-hmm. Oh, we have Danielle here, disappointed with trivia. I think we all are disappointed. Hi, Taboo. Sophie missed the episode. How was it?
You didn't miss much. Sophie.
Yeah.
You'll get it all right here. We'll recap it all, and you don't necessarily need to watch it, unfortunately. See, so Jorge's saying episode was boring. 9 more episodes, that's it? No, we have more than 9.
This was episode 10 or 11?
11.
Yeah, 9 might make sense then.
9, and they filmed that reunion. Have we heard any tea about the reunion or no?
I haven't heard much. Saw some like people on Instagram posting. It seemed like everyone was like getting along from what I could see, but I haven't heard anything really.
Me neither. Hi, Jonathan. Yes, Jonathan. Someone needs to educate these children. They do. I'm like, do I just know a lot because I'm a lot older? I'm like, no, I feel like some of these things, like, I just don't know where you would be hiding to not know some of these trivia questions.
Yeah.
Like, it's shocking.
How do you not know who Adam and Eve are?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. Well, let's get to this episode. It starts off with Jordan recounting the teams. Stack team and our team is. I'm like, we just saw the teams get broken down. Like, why do you need to go and retell us about who's on whose team? Like, I just was like, what a time waster.
Yeah, I missed the first couple minutes of the episode.
Shoot, yeah.
My recording, but yeah. So this is all news to me.
Yes. But they essentially, it was boring. They recap what we already knew about, just them picking the teams and the betrayal of them not telling each other who they were going to vote for, and just kind of re-showing us that scene again, which we didn't necessarily need to see.
And then we see Nani pulling Casey over for a chat about how she's feeling about Kenny. And like, it also seemed a little bit forced. You didn't see that either, did you, Matt? No?
No.
It felt a little forced.
Yeah, the first thing I saw was Bananas talking about wanting to get Nerys out with Mariah. So I probably just a couple minutes after that.
I didn't write that down, so it must have just went across my eyes. But yeah, it was just kind of like, okay, we get it. Casey, your brother's gone. And like, yes, you should have this conversation with your girlfriend. But like, it just seemed like all those forced conversations that we've been seeing this so far this season. So the one with Casey and Fessy that was forced about his name change. And then we had another one recently. Do we remember? I can't remember right now. Oh, with Jordan and Anissa, or Devin and Anissa talking about like, how did you two become like ride or dies? You know what I mean? It's just these forced conversations that are that I don't think we need. Like, just cut the episode to an hour then if you are going to have to put in these scenes that don't really matter.
And as we know, there's so much drama that they're not showing, so you could fill it with more of those other storylines that we're not privy to.
What I was just saying before we went live is like, why not, like, especially with this stupid twist where there's like the redemption house coming or the redemption battle back, why not just do a double elimination episode? It can still be 90 minutes, but just have 2 people go home so we don't have to wait 4 to 6 weeks to see how this all unfolds.
Yeah.
It would just be so much easier. Like, the fans are gonna like it way more. There's like, instead of 6 episodes of fluff, which I'm guessing is what we're gonna get, they could do it in 3. It's just like,
I think you need to be on the team, the production team here, because like, I don't know whose brilliant idea this was, but he should be fired personally. So Tori's the biggest snake in here, says Nelson, and he hates being on his team. Also, Nerys is a little bit upset because she's a rookie and she's also involved in a love triangle. Now, I love Nerys, but she literally inserted herself in this love triangle. And we had Olivia like a couple episodes ago being like, hey, be careful. Like, you don't know how this is going to play out. Like, you don't necessarily want to get on Tori's bad side. So what do you guys think about these 2 ride or dies kind of complaining?
Yeah, she's not really playing what you need to play as a rookie. And Olivia is doing the best job you can of this, of knowing where to step and where not to step. You know, I'm sure there's other people she wanted to have showmances with. You know, she had a potential thing with Jay and all that, but it's like, there are you got to know when to play it safe, and she was warned and she knew what she was doing. And it's fine, but like, then you have to stick with the consequences. Like, you're gonna get voted in. There's only 4 women. They all have different ties. Like, it's you or Amber, like, clearly
100%.
So I thought it was pretty idiotic, and like, I don't feel bad for her at all, but I still really like her, and I think she's a good competitor and a good challenger. I think she should be brought back, all of that, obviously.
Definitely. And she will be, for sure.
100%.
So we see Fessy and Johnny talking, and Johnny's talking to the camera about how Mariah, he thinks that Mariah was manipulated by Fessy into getting like not as good of a team. Now, when he was talking with Fessy, I didn't really like how Johnny was I didn't feel like he was standing up for her in a way that like I would want like my challenge boyfriend to stick up for me. I thought he was kind of like agreeing with Fessy a little bit, and it kind of bugs me.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that, though. I think he was kind of annoyed that she wasn't able to have better strategy than that. She knew there was no way she was going to get Jordan and Bananas. I mean, to her
we know
credit,
that she made those mistakes. She shouldn't have taken Amber. She should have taken, I think it was Tori that we were saying would have been the better choice, and then things would have shaken out better for her.
Exactly. She made a lot of mistakes, but also, like, to her credit, I mean, she held her cool in her deliberation with him when he was being very gross and manipulative, and he was going to manipulate any rookie that he was in that thing with. Like, he was going to get what he wanted. He would have had to be in there with someone like Nani, or Anissa, who's going to be like, have the onus to be able to like stand up for what they know is fair or what they want as well.
Yeah, I gotta say, I personally have been super disappointed by Bananas this season. Like, he kind of made all these promises over the last couple seasons that he was gonna like come in, like when he returns, he's gonna come in hot. He's gonna like bring the TV, bring the drama, but like really like he's kind of come in and been like a complete dud to this point, at least. Like the confessionals are like whatever, like they're not his best. Like he kind of just inserted himself in this big alliance, and it's kind of the opposite of what he promised the fans that he was going to do. Where he's kind of like, he had kind of was poking fun at like CT's game, where he was just kind of hiding in the shadows the last couple seasons and then kind of like riding the waves to the end. And it's like, yeah, Bananas is just doing the exact same thing. And sure, it might be good for his game. Like he's probably going to get very close to the end, if not to the final. But like, I expected so much more, and him coming back, I felt like he made it seem like, hey, I have nothing to lose, so I'm going to come to like be a producer on the show. And it's not working. He's not doing it.
Well, what I don't know where I either read this or somebody was speaking about it. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense to me is that some of these veterans that now they have like an appearance fee that's so big that the producers are wanting to get the bang for their buck for having their like heavy hitters on the screen for longer. And so I think that there was a few seasons where you had like the Bananas or the West go out in like episode 2 or episode 3, but then they got this huge appearance fee. And so I think what they've been doing now, and what this, wherever I read this or saw this, said that they are ensuring that their vets are there for a long time just to get kind of their money's worth. And that would also make sense as to why these vets aren't really rocking the boat. Like we lost Kayla and Sam, like they weren't big ticket vets at all. But other than that, have we lost any heavy hitters? I guess Darrell and Veronica, kind of. But like,
yeah, I mean, we lost Laurel.
Laurel was probably the biggest. But I don't know if her appearance fee is as big as Nani's or Bananas or even Casey's at this point. So I'm thinking that they're kind of just want them to stay on the season for as long as possible.
My issue with that is like, and I'm sure there is a lot of truth to that. I don't doubt it at all. But it's like, to me, like I would get much more enjoyment of 4 episodes of Bananas like wreaking havoc than I would of 12 episodes of Banana just being there and being like a male version of Casey, who's like just honestly, like he's just there to support Nani at this point. That's his whole story. He's not causing any drama. It's like essentially Casey. And I'm just like not here for it. Like if he came out swinging and went home episode 4, doesn't really matter to me. Like I'll take 4
me, it doesn't
episodes
matter either, but I think to the producers, I think it matters.
Yeah, probably.
It's conflicting for me because back when it seemed like they only had an appearance fee and they were getting like what they wanted in the beginning, sometimes it felt like some of the heavy hitters like the Wesses and Bananas were kind of purposely putting themselves in that position and making a big stink, but then going home early. And I didn't love that they didn't care as much necessarily. So it's like, I'm trying to figure out what's better. Because obviously I prefer them to do some more crazy stuff, but I want it to be important enough that they, I mean, I guess for the reputations alone, obviously they want to make it far, but it was annoying when it felt like, oh, they have other important things in their life they want to do, so they don't care as much. I'm like, no, I want you to care. I want you to care.
Yeah, I don't know how to fix this right now because I do want to see Bananas banana-ing, you know? It's yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call him a Casey, but he's definitely
maybe that's a little extreme, but
like, he's not
like,
part of the Clark Furniture Company. Come on now.
But like Wes would not be playing like this.
Oh no, because the house would not let Wes be part of the big alliance.
But he also wouldn't just do that.
Who's Wes's ride or die if he were on this season?
I mean, if his wife, maybe, if she was willing to do it.
Or,
I don't know.
No, I feel like there's a lot of challengers he could end up with because he's actually friends outside the house with quite a few of them. But I don't know specifically who I would put with him at this point.
Maybe Melinda. That would be
Melinda could be one.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love to see like if they brought him in with like John A.
And also considering how some of the pairs weren't real ride or dies, they could also put him with what's her name? I forgot. Oh God. Oh, Kellyanne.
You forgot Kellyanne?
No, but I just forgot who I was thinking of. But yeah, like they could put them together because it's, they used to date and then they were an all-stars together and they like are friends again. Like they could be a good ride or
It
die
would be
pair.
a really good ride or die team
Yeah.
because I think Kellyanne usually ends up being on the outside of the alliance.
Yeah.
And West does as well, but he's just a little bit better at kind of integrating. And so I think that they might still be the enemy, but they would be really strong together. And at least West is super good strategically. So that was a lost opportunity.
Yeah.
So actually, before we get to spin class, we do see Amber and Mariah talking. We hear that Mariah trusts Amber, but Amber feels like she is a target. She knows that Nani's most likely going to be safe because of Nani's girlfriend being on the other team. And like, when you hear that Mariah trusts Amber, that like Amber is going to get duped or something's going to happen to Amber whenever you see these conversations.
So yeah, this is kind of where I picked up. So yeah, I saw the conversation with Bananas and Fessy where they were talking about Nerys, about how Nerys is a threat. And then it jumps to Amber talking about how like, oh, I feel so on edge. Like I don't feel safe in this game. Neither side trusts me. And like right away, I know, okay, looks like we're getting Nerys versus Amber in an elimination tonight.
Right.
They do such a poor job sometimes of like hiding the end result of the episode. So just from those like two conversations right off the bats, I could kind of see where the episode was going. Like I hate that too.
Right?
It's so frustrating.
Especially since we already are finding the season is like lost its momentum. And so like really knowing exactly what's going to happen at the beginning of the episode, you're just like, why are we watching this again? Where is the entertainment factor of like being surprised or not knowing or going on a journey as to like the discovery of who's going to be on the chopping block? So I agree. It was pretty clear. So we kind of already had an idea what this daily was going to be. It's called Spin Class. We saw it on Australian Survivor. This is also something that's frustrating me. I think there's somebody in the chat, I think it was Sam, was asking why we're upset about tonight's episode, that they enjoyed this episode and it was not boring. Well, part of the reason why I'm finding it boring is because I've seen half of these challenges on the Challenge Australia. So it's like, I'm not excited by the daily. I'm not excited by this, the zone this week. Both of them I'd already seen. So what about you two? Why did you guys find this episode not to be as entertaining as maybe some others?
Yeah, for me, like partly the same. Like I was watching the Australian version. All of these challenges are the same. So that part's not super exciting. And then it's like also like the kind of steamroll here where we can predict and then see through the edit like who's in danger, who's going home. And I mean, I know it's only been 2 challenges. I mean, Fessy's team has won both, and it's just like going after the rookies there, rookie/Amber. And I kind of have a feeling it's going to be same thing next week, where like based on the preview, it looks like the challenge is like the grip, like gripping on to something, and then the swim. Jordan's going to struggle with that. He's the strongest person on their team. The other team's going to send in Horacio most likely. And then, I mean, at least like one of those vet guys are going to have to go in if that team loses. So there's that. But I'm just like, the fact that nobody's actually going home and we're potentially waiting a month to 2 months to see a proper elimination, just like not allowing me to enjoy the episodes the same way as well.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yeah. And just the editing is like weird. Like it's been less entertaining this episode, I found.
I have to say though, I do like before, like it's kind of cheesy, but they've been doing it a lot with this new team format, like all the little pep talks that people are having. So Devin's giving like a little like, trivia pep talk, and I thought it was just kind of a little bit funny. It was kind of camp. So that was entertaining to me.
I mean, the episode's like every episode has its moments. Like there's not like it's not as if like this episode had nothing good in it. It's like there's good moments. It's just like the end result. It's like seeing the rookies get targeted and then they don't even actually go home. So it's not like progressing the game. And we also don't even know the full rules of the game, which is annoying. Like we don't know how many teams are coming back in. We don't know when they're coming back in. Like I kind of like to know what's going on, and it will just allow me to enjoy the season a little more.
I know. I feel like producers think that leaving us in the dark is more entertaining, but for people that enjoy the strategy and like following along, like it's not as satisfying to like not have any idea what's going on. And so I'm not sure why after 38 seasons they haven't really figured out how to edit and produce a season in a way that's really compelling the whole time. I guess they have different agendas than than making it entertaining and good. I don't know, but I feel like it shouldn't be that hard.
Mhm.
All right, so we do get trivia, which is, we know, TJ's favorite daily. I thought that these questions were the easiest questions we've ever had in trivia.
Ever.
Especially since they were kind of all going along the ride or die theme. So first question is for Amber. Who is C-3PO's ride or die? And I was like, when she's taking so long, I'm like, is it not R2-D2? Like, I was like, am I wrong here? And then like, no, wasn't wrong. Amber doesn't like rides. She's gonna barf. Chauncey can't remember the last names of the Williams sisters. What?
Yeah, that was one of the easiest ones.
Like, like the slap. You don't remember the slap that Will Smith just had? Like, even just knowing that part of pop culture that just happened, I believe, last year. Like, just to know that he was playing the Williams' father. Like, it was just shocking. And he's a black man. I would think that he would know who these two tennis players were.
It's insane because I don't watch any sports, and obviously I know who they are. So, yeah, that was pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
It's hard to figure out what was the most embarrassing that someone didn't know. You know?
Gotta be Casey.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Oh my God.
Well, Horacio has never heard of the bank robbing duo, Bonnie and Clyde. Like, I mean, I get it. It's from 100 years ago, but like, they're just, there's so many songs that talk about Bonnie and Clyde. Like, it's just, yeah, it's ridiculous that he doesn't know that. I guess he's young. I guess Beyonce and Jay-Z are too old for these people. Anyways, Bananas. He knew this one, a duo that rode off a cliff on screen. I thought this was pretty. I was like, okay, I can understand you not knowing this ride or die duo, but he's of an age where he would know about these people.
Mm-hmm.
But Thelma and Louise, very good movie. I recommend it.
Very classic.
Oh, so good. That was actually the first movie that I saw Brad Pitt in, and me and my mom were like, who's this guy? This guy's so cute. He looks like what was the other guy that looks like him? I forget his name, but he didn't get as famous as Brad Pitt did. And we're like, oh my God, he's a such so-and-so look-alike. And like, he's going to be famous for sure. And then he was. Remember that. Nani doesn't know the name of Elsa and Anna from Frozen, which...
I mean, she said Ella, which I'm like, at least she like was like, it's something like that. Like, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of like, it if you've seen it.
Yeah, that one I understood. I mean, you're like, she's what, 35? Like, maybe she's not like in tune with the new Disney, so that one wasn't super surprising. I definitely did know that one, but I am a Disney fan myself.
I've had a feeling. MV said wants to know if it's an episode that's worth watching. I know who won and who is out, but it doesn't sound exciting. I mean, I'm gonna watch every episode of the challenge.
Yeah,
but
you can watch it. Maybe you can maybe if you can watch it on 1.5 speed, maybe I'd recommend that. But might as well watch it if you have nothing going on.
Yeah, it's worth it to watch just to have seen every episode.
I do love your picture, MV, with Olivia sipping the tea.
I didn't even notice it. Yes,
big Olivia fan here as well.
Anissa knew the star-crossed lovers, Romeo and Juliet. Like, I mean, she's older, so most likely she's gonna know. I would love to have seen some of the younger people to see if they knew that one, because I still think it's super easy, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with these kids. Jordan has to spell Anissa's last name. Slightly hard.
Yeah, I think that's if you don't know. I knew he was going to get that wrong.
I had a feeling too. Also, Nelson. He knew the twins from Full House. Yes, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
He's the trivia king.
Trivia king is Nelson. He's definitely having a resurgence of his, like, maybe he's gonna win the season. You know,
I very much doubt it.
I know. You literally said before this, like, this is probably the end of Nelson. Nerys knew, I believe she knew, the Italian plumbers from the video game. So Mario and Luigi. Also really easy, but that is from like another generation. So I could understand if she doesn't know it. Tori did not know who wrote Good Will Hunting.
She got half of it, so give her
I
some
was
credit
surprised
there.
that she got Ben Affleck and not Matt Damon, because when you think Good Will Hunting, you think Matt Damon first, and then you'd be like, oh, Ben Affleck. Like, in my mind, I would never think of Ben Affleck first, so I was like, oh, she's obviously going to remember Matt Damon, and then when she couldn't, I was like, oh. But, I mean, that's not that embarrassing.
No,
like,
no, it's not embarrassing.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I know it's a classic, but it's also, like, it's very much like a guy movie classic. Like, I don't know. Like, not everyone has to have seen it.
Well, and like, I'm also, we're coming from like the arts and the acting world. And so, like, I think I even read that script a long time ago. Like, I've seen the movie a gazillion times. I've done scenes from that movie, you know, the crying scene where Minnie Driver's like,
I've also done that scene in a class.
He left that money for me when I was 12 years old, and I can't remember how it goes now, but like,
yeah.
So, anyways, I'm gonna know that for sure. And like, I remember it was a really big moment at the Oscars, and that's when I watched the Oscars every single year, no matter what. Went to Oscar parties, so yeah, I would know it more than necessarily an average person, but I was surprised though that she didn't get Matt Damon. Like, I thought that if she got Ben Affleck, I agree with you that she'd get both. Mariah had to spell animosity, which she does. Good for her, because that could be a hard word to spell when you're kind of dizzy. Casey, I think with the blunder of the episode, not knowing the famous biblical couple. How did she not know this, guys?
Didn't they say the couple from the Garden of Eden?
Yeah,
and then she said Eden. She said,
I think he said the garden. I thought he said the Garden of
biblical
Eden.
couple at some point.
No, but he made reference to the
Garden of
snake
Eden
and the apple. I think he even said the apple in this. Like, I think he said all of what it, because I didn't go to like, oh, is he talking about Mary? Is he talking about it was very obvious that what he was talking about.
Well, especially since everything else that's had to do with like ride or dies, like, you know, like giving a rib, you know, it's a ride or die. Anyways, I mean, I understand not knowing everything.
I can't believe she said Eden.
I mean, like, I think Casey's like beautiful, but like she's not smart at all. And she's good athletically for the most part, but like she ain't too bright.
No,
she ain't too bright. Oh boy. Devin does know Scooby-Doo's Ride or Die. Shaggy. Olivia had to spell allegiance, and I don't even know what she spelled. Like, it was like ALLEGANTTZ or something.
Yeah, she definitely had a T in there.
I think it was a double T. I was like, what's happening, Olivia? But she was cute, so I'll forgive her. Mariah needs to know what month Fessy's birthday's in. We know he's a Libra, so she guessed September, and it was probably October, but that kind of sucked as a question.
I don't think he would have known her birthday month.
I guess, I think she's in Aries, April.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have guessed it.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have remembered it.
No way. We need Fessy to know how many siblings Mariah has, and he definitely doesn't know that, so he probably doesn't know her birthday. 6. Nerys, what's the personal moniker for Nelson when he gets into the water? I thought this was cute.
Yeah, that one was super
Nelly.
easy, but yeah, I like that one. Nice point for Nerys there.
Nelson gets a Vermont ice cream duo, Ben and Jerry's.
Mhm.
I was like, Nelson, get it.
But it was so easy
I know.
that someone like that will get it, because it's like you think of it just straightforward.
Yeah,
Like,
there's nothing else you're going to be thinking about. It's just
Yeah.
going to be like the only answer that comes to you. And then we have Devin not knowing who sang Empire State of Mind. And I love that song, so I would always know it. And Alicia Keys and I share a birthday, so gotta love it. But it would have been Alicia Keys and Jay-Z. And then Banana gets a math question correct, which was a very easy math question, which was 10 times 4 times 3 minus 2 equals 118. Not hard at all, but he did get it. And that was it for trivia. Fessy's team ends up taking the win, even though if the questions were configured a little bit differently, the other team, Mariah's team, could have easily won.
Yeah, anyone. Honestly, either team could have won. It was basically a coin flip there. So it just kind of sucks how it's unfolded. I mean, for my like rooting interest, I was definitely hoping Mariah's team would win.
Absolutely. So Willie says here that Mariah and Fessy aren't even friends, so they don't like each other. Yeah, I mean, it seems as though he vetted her from Instagram. I don't know if they hung out a couple times or anything like that. And he was like, hey, you're fit and you got a lot of followers. Like, want to come on this show with me? Like, I don't think that they were close at all.
No.
I think he probably just like recruited her. Probably from Instagram. Have Fessy and Mariah even met before? They don't know shit about each other. We don't know. They might have just first met when they get to the show. The whole trivia should have been the answer question about their ride or die. I could take that. Somebody was saying that they prefer trivia to be about the challenge. What do you guys think about these particular questions as opposed to like challenge trivia?
I don't mind like a mix of both. I don't even necessarily mind the questions today. Like I like when they like fuck up some of the really easy ones. Like it's pretty funny. I do like when they do mix in some challenge stuff though, like whether it's like challenge history. Like I like on All Stars how they do a lot of that. But I like a combo of both, I'd say.
So some people are saying that maybe she's throwing it to help Nani. Do we think that Fessel's team, or I guess it would be Casey, was throwing it to help Nani?
No, definitely not, because I think Nani is like there's such a small percent chance that Nani would go in anyways. Whereas like if Casey's team lost, like there's a decent shot Casey would end up going in. So because Casey would not be saved by Anissa and Tori. So unless Casey's the one that pulls the sword, like she's going in against Olivia. Whereas like Nani was in essentially zero danger, even if her team lost.
True. I know people are trying to save Casey here, but like, yeah, that Adam and Eve question was pretty embarrassing. I agree, Jessica, the most embarrassing by far. And yeah, apparently people from Boston don't know the Williams sisters, which is wild to me.
Yeah, I guess
I just, what do people do if they don't know some of these very simple things?
Like, it's weird. Like Boston is one of the biggest sports cities in the world too, or in the US. It's like massive for sports. I'm pretty sure Chauncey himself was like a D1 athlete. So the fact that he couldn't get that super easy one, pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, like, I mean, I don't really know any other tennis sisters.
Yeah.
Anyways. We're done with trivia now, and it's club time. Over at the club, Nelson hates his team, but Devin thinks that he just has challenge paranoia. And then my taping cut out, so I missed the next 20 minutes. So what happened? What did I miss, guys?
Well, yeah, Nelson was having that conversation that he kind of just feels on the bottom of everything. Or him and Chauncey were left out. It's kind of repeating what we already kind of knew from earlier. That was really it there. And then had a conversation with Amber where she was talking with Chauncey about how she's willing to save Nani, which kind of makes sense. Like kind of stay vet strong. Nani kind of echoed the same thing there. But Mariah was talking to Bananas and kind of hinting at that she wanted Amber to be the house vote. That she wanted Nerys there to be able to save her in the draw. But we kind of then saw like Tori was hinting at wanting Nerys in, like her crew was like more Nerys in mind, and Bananas kind of went on board with that as well. Michelle, anything else from the club scene, really?
Honestly, that's not much. It's just like that kind of conversations. There wasn't really any drama, any like thing fun happening, really. That was kind of it.
Yeah, honestly, it was just like that kind of back and forth of like, is it going to be Amber or is it going to be Nerys? But it was pretty obvious it was going to be Nerys.
Yeah. Very obvious.
Yeah, and then the next segment, Jordan was working out and Nerys had kind of stopped him, was asking for advice, like saying like, hey, what should I say in the interrogation? And Jordan just gave the advice of don't say anything, which made for the interrogation being pretty damn boring because nobody said anything.
And it was weird. Like he was running and she stops him in the middle of running when Tori is sitting like a couple meters away to be like, hey, sorry, can I just like talk to you right now real quick? Why did you need to do that then? And they sit down and then she asks about like, I don't know what to say and like blah, blah, blah. It was just, and then it showed a confessional of Jordan being like, yeah, I think I kind of like her. I don't know. It's nice to have a connection when you like to have someone to snuggle when you feel alone and blah, blah, blah.
Fair, it's true. I'm sure that he's not lying there, but it's also like, you know how hurtful it is just to see your ex.
Especially since she goes and apologizes to Tori later on in the episode. It's like, you aren't even trying to not do it in her face. So why are you trying to say this now? Because it's right before the vote? Like, it's so obvious.
Like, why isn't she playing like this part a little bit smarter? Unless she's just trying to be messy to get that call back, right? Like, you can count on her to be messy.
Yeah.
And you count on her to have hookups with whomever's boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, whatever. So maybe that's what she's doing. Which is fine. Do whatever you want, girl. But don't be surprised when later on the episode they decide to throw you in. So we do see So nothing happened in any of the deliberations.
So the deliberations, like Nany came in, like had a quick conversation. Basically, it was so obvious Nany was going to be safe regardless. But conversation was basically just like, hey, we're not putting you in. But who would you want us to put in? Like, who do you feel will save you? And Nany just said, like, honestly, like, put in whoever you want. It's like, if I have to go in, I don't mind going in against any of them. Basically, like, nothing there. Then Mariah went in, gave nothing at all, was just kind of downplaying her threat level. Amber didn't say anything either, asked to not go in, and then kind of said she wouldn't tell them who she would save, which I thought was a little weird. And then Nerys came in, and Nerys was a little interesting because she didn't say much about like what her plan would be, but she was more like talking up her game, like saying like, hey, I've proven to be good with running. I've proven to be good physically. Like I can do puzzles. It's like, okay, maybe you should kind of simmer down on this. But
yeah,
I think she knew at that point, like she's going to be the house vote. We all knew. It seemed like everyone was kind of aware. One thing that I will say, and you guys might not like this, but very impressed with Fessy during the deliberations.
I haven't seen it, so I plead the fifth. I have no idea. Okay, yeah, how so? Why so?
So after the 4 women had left, the group, the winning group, was just talking about what they're gonna do, and Nelson was upset, saying like, "Hey, you guys left us out, so like let's actually decide this together." Mm-hmm. And they, like, Tori and Anissa were kind of like smirking, like, yeah, right. Like, obviously, like Nelson and Olivia are not going to be part of this. And then they were saying, Bananas and Tori were saying, well, we want to weaken the other team. And Fessy stood up and was like, you know what? Like, this is kind of bullshit because last week you didn't want to weaken the other team. You wanted to go after the rookies when we wanted to go after Jordan or Devin. So like, don't come in here now and say you're trying to weaken the other team by taking out their biggest players, when last week you did not want to do that because it was your ride or dies. And I was like, damn, Fessy, I like this from you. And like, kudos to Fessy there. I was honestly like pretty impressed with him this episode, where he wasn't just letting them like spew like the bullshit at him and at the audience. Like, he's actually calling them out, and he kind of shut them up. Like, they didn't really have a response to it, which,
I mean, it's true.
Yeah, it was very true. It's like Nelson and Fessy were like the two that were saying, like, you put in Horacio, and like knowing it was going to be Horacio versus Kenny essentially, whereas like, why are we not taking out Jordan? Like, next week, what are we going to do? Are we going to go after Jordan, or are we going to protect him because he's aligned with Anissa and Tori and Bananas? So I like that. I don't know. Michelle, what did you think about Fessy kind of standing up?
No, I mean, yeah, I didn't really like think anything of it. I wasn't like, he didn't annoy me, so I guess that's a huge plus for him. And yeah, it's true, the double standard of it. But like, he would do the same thing in another situation, right? Like,
he would do what's best for him, and also
he would be, yeah, exactly. He would be the one like trying to save the people that he needs to save, and then trying to get out the bit. So like, he's still a hypocrite to me. But I mean, yeah, like, that's at least playing the game a bit. And like, they were all more open then of like, oh, well, I think Nerys. Oh, well, I think this. So like, at least it was a more open for people to discuss, as opposed to it being so sneaky.
Yeah. I
so
just like
how
him
in the right direction.
Yeah, I like how him and Nelson didn't just like roll over and like let like the majority like dictate everything. Like, they at least kind of stood their ground a little. Yeah.
So Sarah Jo here is saying that Chauncey said on Twitter that he didn't hear the word tennis. Well, what did he hear then? What did he hear? Yeah, maybe. Well, they say tennis? Hold on, let's just look.
Yeah, they said the tennis stars from Compton, I think.
Tennis sisters from
tennis
Compton.
Sisters, yeah.
Which is, I mean, I don't know that they're from Compton necessarily, because I haven't actually seen that movie. But like, there's only two, like one tennis sisters that I know of.
Yeah,
off the top of my head, anyways. So Willie says the reason why Tori wants Nerys out is because Nerys was hooking up with Jordan.
Oh
yeah,
100%.
Like, no doubt, and that's why it was just a little bit of an oversight on Nerys's part for her not recognizing that, like, hey, you're playing with fire here. Like, maybe she didn't know that the teams were going to break down this way and that she's going to be at their mercy. But like, you got to know that if you're going to be messing around with somebody's ex-fiance that's still in the game and they have any sort of power to throw you in, they're going to use it and take it. So
yeah,
I expected it. So we do see Nerys and Tori chatting. So Michelle, did you say that Nerys came up to Tori to start that conversation?
It seemed like it. Like, well, when it pans to Nerys and that her talking, but Nerys is kind of leading the conversation, and she's just like, I feel bad about it, and like, I feel like an asshole, and I shouldn't have, whatever. Jordan told me that there was nothing going on between you guys, and like, nothing was happening. And then Tori's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, thanks for coming to me. I wouldn't have done the same thing that you did. Obviously we have had a lot of history and la la la. And at the end, she's just like, yeah, like, he could have just been clear with me, which is true. Like, Jordan was not clear with Tori.
Exactly.
Like, and all his confessionals this episode were kind of annoying to me, because it's like, regardless of her opinion, Nerys was getting voted in anyway. And Tori seems to be on that path right now where she's moving through it. Like, I'm sure she's like still petty and bitter, but she's acknowledging it. And so she's going to get past it a lot quicker than Jordan is, in my opinion, because he's just jumping to the next thing to be like, yeah, like, it's nice to feel something. Like,
and I actually thought that Tori handled it in like decently.
Yeah.
I didn't think that she was super emotional. I didn't think that I thought that she was like, quite reasonable in that conversation. I think that she did have room to be a little bit bitchier if she wanted to, and I would think that like that would be fine. But she was kind of like, listen, if you like him, you like him. I just wish that he was a little more transparent with me, and I wouldn't have had my feelings be getting involved with him again, because I thought that we might be something after this. And like I thought that she handled it decently well, because I'm usually not Team Tori, but I have to say I'm not minding how she's handling this situation.
She had a good confessional as well, where she was saying, like, they were talking about who was going to go into elimination, and Tori was pretty honest with the audience, saying, okay, I don't want to be that girl who takes my anger on a guy out on the girl involved, like the third party involved. But like, hey, it's a female elimination, and like any reason to get someone in, it's like, I mean, if it's going to protect her peace, like, do what you got to do. I don't blame her for wanting Nerys in. It's the nature of the game. But I just hope, with that said, with her saying, like, I don't want to be that girl who goes after the girl here, that she like keeps this like same energy when it's a male elimination next week. Like, I would love to see Tori just like look Jordan in the eyes and vote him in. And that would be epic. I just don't know if she's really going to do it now, especially now that Nerys is out of the game, at least temporarily. I hope she does if her team wins again, but I don't know if I see it.
I don't think she will.
Well, Vanessa says Tori needs to become a villain. She does villain things and then acts nice. Do we agree or disagree with this?
That was always kind of my issue with her for a bit in the middle there, where it was like she has this nice persona, but then she was doing kind of sketchy things. I don't know. I think that Tori's path is that like she was this authentic person and it was refreshing. And then she had some mental health and some insecurities and some things, and kind of fell into trying to be a certain way, trying to appear a certain way. And that made her a little bit villainous maybe. And now I feel like she's kind of on the other end. I don't see her necessarily as villainous. I see her as like just a regular woman trying to navigate like an uncomfortable situation. I don't know. That's just my opinion though.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that, yeah, you're right, that it is something that kind of annoyed me about Tori, is that she didn't own her moves or own her villainy, if that's a word. And that's kind of why we're just like, oh, like, stop pretending like you're nice if you're not going to be nice. Just own your meanness, own your villainness. So yeah, I can agree with that. But I do think that this season that she's not trying to be the villain, and she is just trying to move past things and get along with people. And so, but if she wants to become the villain and be like, Jordan, you made me look like an idiot on national TV, like, and you're gonna go in now for it, that'd be kind of badass. I'd be pumping my fist for Tori if that were the case. It's doing it. So we get to the zone, and no surprise to anybody, but Nerys is the vote. And going to the draw, as surprise, surprise, Nany chooses the blank dagger. I'm thinking because it would be a worse position for Nany to be in.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, is she gonna pull it? Nah, it's too much drama.
Yeah, the production would not let Nany be put in a bad position. I mean, when she needs the safety, she'll get it. When she doesn't, they'll let someone else get it and put Mariah in the bad spot, where now Amber will probably want to go against Mariah instead of Nany.
Well, she's not going to go against Nany, because even Amber was like, oh, well, like, I would have chosen Nany as well. So, like, she's like, I understand why Mariah chose Nany, even though she said she was going to choose me.
I thought it was interesting that we got a 5-1-1-1 vote. I thought that was like pretty strange.
Who did Jordan vote for?
Jordan voted for Mariah, and then Fessy voted for Amber. And then, so people were just kind of throwing rogue votes out, obviously.
Jordan didn't vote at all. What do you mean?
Oh, sorry, not Jordan. Who was it? Who voted for Mariah?
Jordan. You're right. Sorry.
Someone voted Mariah. Oh, did Chauncey vote Mariah? No, sorry, Nelson voted Mariah.
Nelson voted Mariah.
Yeah.
So Nelson voted Mariah. Chauncey voted who?
So Fessy voted for Amber, and Olivia voted for Nany. I think, yeah, Olivia must have voted for Nani. But everyone got 1 vote, and then Nerys got 5. So she got all the vets votes, plus Chauncey.
Well, that's how the cookie crumbles,
Yeah.
Nerys. You can't go fuck around with a vets dude without having the vets not be on your side necessarily anymore. So, unfortunately, Nerys is going to be going in, and she is going to be going in against Amber B. And I don't know, someone was saying that they're about the same size, but it seems to me like Amber is taller than Nerys.
Yeah, I immediately thought like Amber, and I wrote in my notes like Amber should easily win this. Just longer, like seemed bigger. Like I know Nerys like is scrappy, but at the end of the day, like
She weighs like
size
110
matters.
pounds probably.
Yeah,
maybe teeny. So they're going to be doing Pato Brawl, and like we said, we've already seen this when we were watching the Challenge Australia. It's basically like a pole wrestle, but it's a different shaped object. And all I wrote was obviously Amber's going to win this.
I mean, I didn't necessarily think that she was going to win until it began. Like, I obviously like putting them against each other. Amber's a lot larger, but I was like, Nerys has been very surprising, like in terms of her strength. And there's always those tenacious people that can sometimes get through, even if they are smaller. People like, I don't want to speak her name, but anyways, other people. And so I wasn't completely like, oh, Nerys is done. I actually had but then when I saw it going forward and I saw what Amber was doing and how confident she was, I was like, oh, she's got it.
Yeah, I thought Nerys put up a good fight.
Sure.
One of my major complaints about this episode was when Nerys was putting up a good fight, and like it was before they even had finished the first round, they show us a dual confessional of Amber and Chauncey after the elimination, talking about the elimination. So I'm like, well, this is bullshit. Like, we know now that Amber is back in the house filming a confessional with Chauncey, and they're like laughing and joking around about it. And not only did like it go back to the elimination after that, we had a whole commercial break where we had to wait 5 more minutes. And then you're just waiting for Nerys to lose. And it's a 100% certainty that she loses at that point. So that really kind of pissed me off with the elimination, which I thought was fairly competitive. So that sucked.
Well,
really.
And also I found that it was too long. So I agree. I also saw that confessional as like, okay, well, like I felt that Amber was going to win anyways, but like, why is this elimination, like this duo confessional happening during the elimination? Like, doesn't make any sense to me. And so I was with you there as well. But then I was like, a commercial break, and then there was still like 12 minutes left. I was like, what are they going to do for 12 minutes? Like, I don't need to watch this for that long, especially because like Nerys is such like, I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want anybody to get hurt. And so I don't know. I don't really care for this. I think I'm done with seeing like pole wrestles and stuff like that. Like it just, makes me uncomfortable.
You have to get so lucky for it to be a good matchup. Like there'll be 10 like decent to bad matchups, and then one like epic one where you get the Joss and Derek going at it for an hour. It's like we don't need to see 10 okay to bad ones just to get one good one.
Exactly. So Willie says, imagine if Nerys versus Nani. Nerys would have easily, I don't know if Nerys would have easily won, but that would have been a good matchup.
I do think Nerys would have won as well.
She could have, but I don't think it would be like so easy. I don't know.
I definitely could see it be easier maybe than Amber, but I think Nani might have put up a good fight there though. But
Amber is 5-1 in eliminations through 2.5 seasons. She's going
with people that are tinier than her.
Yeah, but I mean, still 5-1. It's pretty impressive.
Her performance at this elimination was impressive.
Yeah, she did a good job.
Would she have beat Laurel? Obviously not. But like she did a good job. She also did a good job in the last elimination she was in. she does pretty well in eliminations.
She also won an elimination with Huey last season, which was pretty impressive.
Yeah, that she should get extra points for that one.
Yeah. So let's say she's 6-1 instead of 5-1.
But then her winning the hall brawl doesn't really count
Yeah. Okay.
because
Fine.
it was against Baby Amber.
Yeah, little Amber
and Big T.
And Big T was the other. And it's like, I mean, you won, but like, you better win because they're like 5 inches shorter than you. So Jorge says, and Amber is very flexible. Yes, we did learn that in their dual confessional, that Amber is flexible in the bedroom. And apparently she can contort her body in the pato brawl. So we learned that. That's, I guess, fun. So Dial is worried. I'm worried that Nerys is going to be hurt no, I don't think she'll be hurt to continue. No.
Fine. She seemed in like good spirits when she found out she had a second chance.
I did kind of feel for her when she was crying because I think she really enjoys being on the challenge. Even in her live that she's done after that I'd watched, she talks about like it was such a good experience. Like she really enjoyed herself. And so I think that she didn't want to be going home. And so I liked seeing her reaction to being like, I'm still in this. I am. Like,
yeah, when she started crying, like, and you could tell she was like really hurt by the experience ending. Kind of did get to me a bit because I do love Nerys. Like she's been one of my favorites this season for sure. So I didn't like seeing her cry there. And yeah, when she did find out that she got that second chance, I was like, the twist sucks, but I was happy for her that at least we potentially could see her return. Although I am very worried that we're not going to be able to see that, unfortunately.
Yeah, because you live by your ride or die. And as you were saying, Matthew, before we went live, it looks like Nelson might not be able to make it through if he's so anti his team right now. He's not being informed by what's going down in some of the votes, that it might be easy for people to say his name if they were to lose. So I wouldn't be surprised if Nelson has to go in there sooner than later. But I could also, bless you, see them winning. Like, couldn't you just see just winning for the next two?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I just think like ultimately, I don't think Fessy's team is going to win every challenge. Like, I think there is bound to be at least one or two. Like, say they do this for 6 weeks total. We've already done 2, so 4 more weeks of this. I don't think they're going to completely like decimate the other team. And my big worry for Nelson and thus Nerys in this case is when the Jordan side of things, sorry, Mariah, I forgot her name for a second. Mariah's team wins. They're not going to, like Bananas and Tori, Anissa, they're not going to try to get that team to put in Chauncey as the house vote, because then Bananas is going to be at risk in the draw because Fessy and Nelson will save each other. They're going to convince the other team to throw in Nelson straight up so Fessy and Bananas can save each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be
100%.
Nelson versus Chauncey, or if Chauncey pulls the sword, potentially Nelson versus Fessy, who hates Amber, which it would, I mean, really suck for Nelson because Nelson's probably not going to beat Fessy in most eliminations. But I just like Bananas and Tori and Anissa are smart enough to not let the other team put in Chauncey as the house vote.
No, that's not going to happen at all. But I just like, I don't know if I see them losing, but they might. Obviously, we don't know what's coming up. Well, we do kind of, but
it will be interesting because I do agree, and I do think that Fessy will convince. Will also like throw Nelson under the bus.
Yeah, like because they don't even have Nerys really protecting them, right? Like protecting him anymore. And so obviously Nany and Mariah are both going to not want their ride or dies to be going in. So yeah, it could be.
The thing is, though, like,
that could be interesting at least.
Yeah, that would be interesting. And I mean, I hope that the cast doesn't know what the twist is. Like, I would expect that they don't. So if they truly don't know that their ride or dies are potentially coming back in the game, maybe like Bananas and Mariah would want Fessy out. So I could see like
throwing
Bananas even
Fessy in.
trying to get Fessy in against Nelson, either as like, I mean, I don't know if they're really intimidated by Nelson, but like just to kind of separate the two of them who seem to
Or
be pretty
like
close.
a rematch that we all want to see, but we want to see Nelson beat Fessy.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. So Danielle's saying here that she was holding her arm and the camera zoomed in on it. So I did not notice that necessarily, but I mean, she's going to be in a hotel room for like a month. I think she's going to be okay. I don't think she's going to be medically DQing.
I did notice her kind of like stretching out her elbow a bit, and like she seemed like maybe she was just like having some pain from that, but I don't know. I feel like they would have showed more if there was like an injury. So I don't know. Hopefully nothing.
Jorge says, did we notice that Nani told Amber that she would be the first person to choose the dagger? I found that suspicious.
She did say that?
Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Like, why do they get to decide who pulls
Wait,
first?
but when did she say that? I don't remember her saying that.
Yeah, Amber and Nani were having a conversation, I think, like as they were getting ready for the elimination, and one of them said to the other, like, all right, like you pull the dagger first, I'll go second, or I'll go last. I can't remember what they said, but they did say like Nani was going to pull first, and that's not really fair to Mariah if you guys get to decide who pulls first. But I thought that was strange as well.
Maybe they do decide that and we just don't see it usually.
I guess it really doesn't matter
because she's been
much,
the first choice. Her and Bananas got to pick first every time.
That's true. So Willie says, I think that the other team would vote Fessy because he's a strong guy. And if Chauncey and Nelson pull a dagger, Bananas goes in, and it would be a good matchup with Fessy versus Bananas. I don't think that they want that to happen.
But what? Production? But thing, yeah. But production aside, like they get to vote, and I guess because Nani's there, she'll convince them not to. But I feel like if you have Jordan, a lot of these people on that side would probably be willing to vote Fessy in.
And I don't think that Chauncey would save Nelson because he's probably a little bit pissed. I think you just said this, Matt, that he hasn't been a good friend to Amber. So I don't know if Chauncey would be saving Nelson here.
Yeah, I don't know if they would put Fessy in as the house vote just because Bananas would not want to have to risk going against Fessy in an elimination. And he's going to have a lot of pull there, like with just like working with Devin, working with Jordan, we assume. I mean, assuming both of them are there, because one of those three guys, one of those two, or Horacio, could very well be gone next week. But assuming Devin and Jordan are there, I feel like Bananas will rather Nelson be the house votes, which is just my hunch there. But yeah,
but
I don't
what
know.
makes you think Devin would do that? Like, I know that Devin's working with them, but like, he's not working with Fessy. Fessy's the only one he's never had to deal with this season. So I don't understand why. And Devin has a lot of say in his group. And I know Mariah is connected with Bananas, so she'll probably do what he wants.
Yeah.
But so I don't think Jordan will. Like, I don't know. Because it doesn't guarantee that Bananas has to go in with him, because obviously it's more of a risk that he might have to. But as you said, if Chauncey has a bad relationship with Nelson and is pissed about that stuff, and Nelson could be made to be convinced to save Bananas, I just see it as kind of a 50-50 in my mind right now with the people that are there.
Yeah.
With Amber.
I think, yeah, I mean,
like Amber, Devin, Jordan.
But I feel like Amber, because Nelson threw her in, like Amber could easily put Nelson in over Fessy.
Yeah, but he didn't throw her in this time. He didn't say her name this time. He said Mariah.
But let's say it's like Mariah, Nani, and Jordan. Let's just say hypothetically vote in Nelson, and then Amber, Devin, Horacio vote in Fessy.
I think Jordan would change his vote. I think Jordan would be, if there was already 3, I think he would go with that. I think it's going to depend on what people are saying, you know?
Yeah, it could.
But I just don't see a world where he wouldn't vote against Fessy. Like, Same
Get
with
rid of
Devin.
him.
It
I
just depends.
honestly, would be
It
shocked
depends
if
how
Devin
much
didn't try.
pull. It depends how much pull Bananas has there. Like if Bananas like is really working close with Jordan and says like, "Hey, if you put Fessy in, like I'm gonna, if I don't pull the safe, I'm going in against Fessy. I'm going home." And it's just a matter of like, is Jordan willing to like help Bananas out? And I personally think he would be.
Well, because they did set us up at the beginning of the season with them being like, with Bananas giving Jordan the lay of the land, you know, being like, this is what's going on here, this is what's going on with the rookies. So they haven't shown us them working together, but maybe they have been working together more than they have in past seasons. So maybe there'll be a little bit more of like a hey, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine, especially with the first week they didn't get thrown in. So maybe that creates some favor with Jordan. And if Bananas wants to take credit for that, then maybe he'd be like, hey, like, you know, we kept you out then. Let's you know, keep me out this time if they lose. I actually just don't know if we're gonna lose anytime soon though.
Yeah, that's the big issue. One thing I am happy about is at this point in time, it's impossible to get rookie versus rookie again. So at least like no matter what happens, no matter which team wins, like there are going to be vets that have to like play the game and not just throw in the rookies and save other vets. So that's exciting. Like if Mariah's team loses again, Jordan, Devin, and Nani are in potential danger, so they are going to have to fight for their life in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
At least. So Bananas thinks that Jorge thinks that Bananas would not save Fessy because of Mariah. And he has shown in his confessional that he doesn't like Fessy. I mean, I just don't know though if he's going to like take that shot at Fessy.
Maybe that's the thing he's talking about. Maybe him saying, I played this crazy game this time, is that at this point, he finally is like, you know what? I'm just going to see if I can beat this guy. If it happens and fate throws and I don't pull the safe dagger, I'm going to go with it and just like hope that it's something that isn't, we've already had a hall brawl type-ish thing. So hopefully it's something where it's not combat and I can do my thing. Like, who knows, right? Like, he could also swing that way suddenly and try to make things more interesting and just be like, you know what? Like, let me just see if I can do this. Because if he does, it's amazing. And if he loses, he probably already knows that there's a redemption because, like, come on. And also, like, then he gets to, if he loses, it's against Fessy, so it's not really embarrassing for him. So I don't know. Could be something that he's not horrified at the idea of.
So Dabu here is saying that Bananas voted for Nerisse, so I'm not sure why Jordan would help him. Wasn't just Tori that threw her in.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, though, like, I think that Jordan is blaming all of it on Tori.
For sure.
And that's
and
the
Anissa,
way.
yeah.
And Anissa, yeah. And that's the direction that they were going to be going in. And Bananas following suit there. Like, I don't think that. I just don't think he's going to be holding Bananas responsible for Nerisse going home. In this scenario.
Yeah, 100. I think like Jordan is smart enough to understand that like Bananas is not going to throw a rogue vote when it doesn't matter. Like she had 4 votes anyways. She was going in. So like, why is Bananas going to piss off Amber? Or I mean, he's obviously not going to vote in Mariah or Nani. So why is he going to piss off Amber when Nerisse is going in regardless?
100%. Yes, Natalie, we are getting another Challenge USA season. So before we talk about that, is there anything else about this episode that you wanted to chat about? And who is our MVP?
The last thing I wanted to just mention is that one of Nerisse's like parting messages was like, as she was kind of having a tearful confessional, she was saying like Nelson deserves this more than anyone. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I do think Nelson deserves this more than anyone. I know Anissa and Nani have done more seasons. They've been around longer, but right now I'm like fully Team Nelson. Like I would love to see him win. I very much doubt it will happen, but I'm rooting for Nelson, and I think there's no deserving in the challenge, but if anyone deserves it, it's Nelson in my books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's putting his dues. I think that this is a good showing so far this season. If he were to win, I wouldn't be upset by it, and like I think he's due a win for sure. Like, but I just don't know if I ever see him being a challenge champion.
Yeah, me neither. But like, just the fact that he brought Nerys into the show, like that's a win, and that's a win in my book. So he's already a winner.
We win. We win. We're winners.
Yeah, I'm having difficulty trying to pick an MVP because it was such a lackluster episode.
Mm-hmm. I think maybe Amber for
that. Yeah, Amber
winning.
won and, pulled out a good performance when her, once again, her back's against the wall.
Maybe Nelly for getting, was it 2 or 3 challenge trivia questions, correct?
MVP is very hard with this team format.
Yeah. I think we have to go by also like entertainment value perhaps, but there wasn't really much of that this episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Nelson. I mean, it's tough. Like, he didn't do that much. Like, his ride or die went home, but
I thought you'd go for Fessy with giving some pushback in the deliberation.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, Nelson also gave some pushback, so like I'll go for like the more likable guy.
No, well, Nelson's the one who actually said the thing. Fessy kind of followed up after and was like,
Yeah, I'd say it was probably more Nelson standing up for them. I was just like more surprised that Fessy said something. Where like you could kind of see like Nelson was very frustrated. Nelson.
Jorge says Nelson for MVP for farting on trivia.
I say like, Nelson had some good moments, and there wasn't that many good moments for that many other people. So I'll go.
I can live with Nelson having MVP this week. Any objections?
Yeah, let's give it to Nelson.
Give it to Nelly G.
He's gotten it so many times this season.
He's like MVP of the season.
He's having a really good season.
Yeah, definitely his best season in the last like decade. So, hundo. 100%. Well, that's pretty much it for this episode. I guess it wasn't really much going on about the Challenge USA season 2. It's just that it was announced that they are doing they're starting their pre-production stuff, so people are starting to probably get calls, and so I'm happy that that's going on. Is there anybody that you've seen in the last few months that you really want to see on season 2?
I mean, Joseph from Big Brother, I'd like to see. I think he'd be pretty natural fit there. Looking at Survivor, I think Ricard could be fun.
Ricard, yes.
I would imagine Ricard must have got a call last time, and maybe he just wasn't up for it. But I mean, hopefully he would do this one. I think Joseph is a lock. He'll be there. I would imagine.
Big Brother?
Like, yeah.
Joseph
Kyland
will definitely.
And Alyssa will probably be back.
Alyssa will be back for sure. Kyland will be back. I don't know.
I don't see many people from this. Oh, I think Cassidy, I mentioned from this season of Survivor, could be back.
Cass, yeah.
Yeah, Xavier does not want to be there.
Yeah, he needed to have a great showing. Jorge wants James to be Amazing Race to come back.
Love James.
I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back. I think he says yes to all opportunities. So yeah, I could see him coming back.
I hope we get some big names. I hope how this season ended like doesn't scare like some of the bigger names from making an appearance. I know like Parvati was contacted, Janelle was contacted for season 1. So I hope that they're not like scared off, and we could get names like that, because that could be super fun. And
they gotta give them better food and like they gotta treat them a little better. I think
and more concrete rules to the game.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's pretty exciting though. Like, what I like about the challenge format is the fact that they bring back people that we've seen before. And so, like, I like that it's going to be kind of like a fresh meat season where it's going to be some people that has played the challenge before, but we then definitely have seen them on other reality shows. So that's going to be fun just to see how people that I've watched play different games before, how they fare on the challenge. So I am
Yeah.
looking forward to it, even though I was disappointed to the way that season 1 kind of finished. I think season 2, hopefully they'll iron out all those grievances and have a good season.
Yeah, like they can't fuck up like that again. Like,
No,
I mean,
my-
I'd love Rachel Riley. I don't know if she's going to do that. She did Traitors as well.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe actually.
oh,
My-
I keep forgetting to watch that. God damn, you sent me the link. Okay.
Oh, I
My
mean, I already watched all of
understanding-
Australia's Traitors, and I'm on episode 9 or 10 of the UK. So
the US one's not out yet, is it?
no, January 16th, I believe.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so from what I'm hearing, I'm pretty sure Challenge All Stars 4 is going to be filming in January. And then the USA season 2 is supposed to start filming in March. So there could be quite a bit of a wait to get to season 39. But between All Stars 4, US 2, and the Global, I mean, there's going to be 3 shows in between now and then.
And then still, I could probably find Argentina and the UK.
Yeah, I would imagine the Globals will probably start airing like right after
This
this season ends, which
I can see that.
there's not going to be much of a break there, and then it'll just go straight to All Stars. And we'll do like it'll be summer for USA 2, and maybe not 39 until the fall.
So Jorge is hoping that more people from The Amazing Race will be on. I would hope so too. Do you think that Claire and Derek might make an appearance?
I could see that.
Especially since Derek's already done it once, and now Claire is a winner. That's kind of fun. So, I mean, I think that this has been a good year for CBS to have some new blood come in. So, whoever they cast, I'm sure are going to be happy with.
Do you think they'll allow people from Love Island season 4, or they won't be able to because it wasn't CBS? I don't know what the contracts are like with Peacock, but
is
there's
Peacock
some good
owned
people.
by? It seems like Peacock would be an NBC thing, to be honest. But
yeah, I wonder if they're like under contract for a year, so if we'd have no new Love Island people.
that kind of hurts. We kind of need the messy, fun ones in there to make it like the challenge. You know.
Yeah.
It's a mess. Well, that is it, everyone. Thank you for being here, both of you and everybody here in the chat. Do you guys have anything going on that you would like to share with the people?
No, just happy holidays to everyone. I guess it'll be Christmas this weekend. So Merry Christmas, everyone celebrating. Happy Hanukkah to those that celebrate.
Woo!
And we'll look forward to chatting before the new year next week.
Woo, woo, woo. Yes, thank you, everybody. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and let us know. What do we want to know from the people? What do we want to chat about in the comments?
Can Nelson win this game?
No, I have a question.
Okay, what?
I want the people to tell us, what is your percentage of likelihood that if Mariah's team loses next week, they will throw in Fessy? I just want to know people's general thoughts on
Mariah's
this.
team wins.
If Mariah's team wins, who are they going to throw in? But how likely do you think it is that they could throw in Fessy? I would like to know.
Okay. What, like put everybody in percentage or just Fessy out of 100? Or everybody?
I guess everybody. You might as well just do everybody. But
maybe I'll put up a poll. All right. I'll do a poll. I'll do a poll right now so we can get these stats. So we can
I give my answer before we go?
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
I'm going to say bananas at 1% is the house vote. I'll say Chauncey is 24%. And then I will say Fessy is 30% and 45% Nelson.
Okay.
That's a pretty good balance. That's a pretty good balance.
I mean, I feel like that it's pretty good. I maybe would flip maybe Chauncey and Fessy, just for the fact that like obviously I think it's a possibility that Mariah would not protect him and they might throw him in and just be pissed off with him. But then I also can see her conceding and being like, no, I can't do that to my ride or die. So I might put Chauncey up in the second position. But I hear your points there. Well, thank you again and happy holidays, everyone. We'll see you next week before the new year. Ciao.
Bye.
Woo.